Okay, let's dive right into today's explainer and shatter the whole myth of one-size-fits-all financial advice. Seriously, if you've ever felt like the personal finance rules you're trying so hard to follow just aren't clicking with your actual bank account, you are absolutely not alone. The truth is, the financial industry has a massive content problem. They love pushing these generic rules because, well, they're super easy to share. But what works for one income bracket can literally drag you backward in another. So today, we're going to fix that. We are building a targeted playbook that evolves exactly as your paycheck does. Real quick, before we start climbing the income ladder, we've got to cover our legal bases. Please keep in mind this explainer is strictly for educational purposes only. It is not financial or tax advice, mostly because everyone's individual situation varies wildly. Always consult a licensed pro before making major financial moves. Okay, let's get into it. So to brilliantly illustrate our core problem, picture this. We have two 32-year-olds following the exact same generic advice they found online. Person A is earning $52,000 a year and is aggressively maxing out her Roth IRA at $7,500. She's putting 14% of her gross income into retirement, which sounds amazing, right? But it leaves her with practically zero emergency savings while she's sitting on credit card debt that's costing her 21% in interest. On the flip side, look at person B. He earns $155,000. He faithfully followed the advice to build a starter $1,000 emergency fund and then just stop there. Now he's got $43,000 sitting completely unoptimized in a regular taxable brokerage account, which means he is bleeding thousands of dollars in unnecessary taxes. Because they're at totally different income levels, they are both accidentally sabotaging their own progress just by running the exact same playbook. So here's our roadmap for today's explainer. 1. The generic advice trap. 2. The 50K playbook. 3. The 100K playbook. 4. The 150K playbook. 5. Universal financial rules. And finally, 6. The wrap-up. Starting off with Section 1, the generic advice trap, and why one size fits absolutely no one. Let's tackle this head-on. Generic advice like pay yourself first or invest consistently, sure, it's true, but it's completely unhelpful when you're asking what to do with your specific income today. The crucial point we have to understand is that confusing your financial priorities costs you real, hard-earned money. Think about it. What is an absolute 5-alarm emergency at 50K is usually a complete non-issue when you make 150K. And conversely, the advanced tax optimization strategies that build massive wealth at 150K, they literally don't matter at all if you're making 50K. Your playbook has to evolve with your current circumstances, or else you're just spinning your wheels. Moving right along to Section 2, the 50K playbook, moving from survival to stability. So this bracket is really close to the U.S. median individual income. Roughly 28% of Americans currently sit right here. To understand why your goal at this stage isn't building massive wealth, but rather moving from survival to absolute stability, you just have to look at the math. At $50,000 gross, assuming you're married filing jointly, taking the standard deduction with no state income tax, your monthly take-home pay is right around $3,700. In most U.S. cities today, that is extremely tight before you even pay a dime for rent, food, or your car. That lack of wiggle room is the defining feature of this income bracket. Because that wiggle room is practically non-existent, you have to be ruthless. You must prioritize these exact 4 steps in order. Seriously, do not try to do everything at once. Step 1, build a $1,000 circuit breaker. By saving just 5% of your take-home pay, you hit this in about 5 months. This acts as a shield, stopping an $800 car repair from becoming high-interest credit card debt. Step 2, capture any employer 401k match. It's an instant 50% or 100% return on your money. Literally, nothing beats it. Step 3, aggressively wipe out high-interest debt above 15% APR. Paying off a 21% credit card is a guaranteed 21% return. And step 4, only after those are completely done, build a 3-month emergency fund. That's roughly $8,000 to $10,000 parked safely in a high-yield savings account. Once that's built, then you can start investing more heavily. But listen, do not let anyone shame you for a 5% to 10% savings rate here. You are pouring the concrete for your foundation. Now for Section 3, the 100K playbook, graduating from stability to actual wealth building. Okay, at this bracket, your basic stability work is largely done, and you're taking home around $6,800 to $7,200 a month. Time to shift gears, but fair warning, this is honestly the most dangerous financial moment for most people. You finally hit 6 figures, your take-home pay practically doubles, and boom, immediately you upgrade. A nicer apartment, a brand new car, way better dinners out. Meanwhile, your actual savings rate stays completely flat. You feel fine because all the bills are paid, right? But you aren't actually building anything. To beat this lifestyle inflation trap, you have to automate your savings the absolute day you hit this bracket. Save first and only spend what is left over. The math totally shifts here. Your target savings rate needs to jump up to 15 to 20% of your gross income, and you get there by executing these 5 precise steps. First, aim to max your 401k at $24,500. This heavily reduces your current taxable income. Second, fully fund a Roth IRA at $7,500 because this money grows and gets withdrawn completely tax-free. Third, if you have a high-deductible health plan, max out your health savings account, or HSA. Fourth, upgrade that old emergency fund to a full 6 months of expenses, which is around $18,000 to $25,000. And finally, whatever you have left over, funnel that into a taxable brokerage account using simple, broad market index funds. Just to break down your tax advantage tools at this level real quick, maxing your traditional 401k directly lowers your taxable income right now. The Roth IRA gives you that sweet tax-free growth for the future. And the HSA, that is literally the holy grail. It's triple tax advantaged. You get tax-deductible contributions, tax-free growth, and tax-free withdrawals from medical expenses. Using these accounts isn't just about saving money, it is about strategically shielding your money from taxes so it can compound so much faster. And the results of that shielding are just staggering. Just wrap your head around this. If you consistently max out that $36,300 every year into those specific tax-advantaged accounts, and let's say you get a standard 7% average annual return, you will build $2.4 million over 25 years. That's from this one income level alone, simply by letting the tax advantages and compound interest do all the heavy lifting for you. All right, stepping up to Section 4, the 150K Playbook, moving from wealth building to high-level optimization. So here, your take-home is roughly $9,200 to $9,800 a month. This is where everything shifts from basic wealth building to serious high-level optimization. Welcome to the 24% marginal federal tax bracket. Back at 50K, tax optimization was kind of a nice bonus. At 150K, tax optimization is literally your biggest moneymaker. Every single dollar of taxable income above the threshold gets taxed at 24 cents on the dollar. Making smart, deliberate tax moves right here can realistically keep $5,000 to $15,000 a year in your own pocket instead of, sending it off to the government. To capture those massive savings, you've got to execute these 4 specific optimization steps. First, aggressively max everything. But heads up, at 150K, you're starting to hit the income limits for standard Roth IRAs, so you have to use the backdoor Roth strategy. That basically means contributing to a traditional IRA and then converting it immediately. It's completely legal, it's standard practice, and it's incredibly powerful. Step 2 is implementing advanced tax optimization. Step 3 is funneling a solid $1,500 to $3,000 a month straight into a taxable brokerage. And Step 4, fiercely avoiding the luxury trap. Things like private schools, luxury car leases, and premium travel will eat up your income advantage instantly if you aren't incredibly careful. Let's actually geek out on that advanced tax optimization step for a second, because this brilliantly illustrates how the wealthy actually keep their money. First up, charitable bunching. Instead of giving a little bit each year, you bundle 2 or 3 years of giving into a single year using a donor-advised fund. That way, you can itemize and take massive tax deductions. Second, strict capital gains management. You never trade actively. You hold your investments for over 12 months to unlock that much lower 15% long-term capital gains rate. And third, state tax optimization. If you're working remotely, simply moving to a state with no income tax, like Texas, Florida, or Nevada, can instantly save you anywhere from $5,000 to $12,000 every single year. When you combine that level of tax optimization with disciplined investing, the math just gets absolutely wild. A 35-year-old earning 150K who maxes out their tax-advantaged accounts and invests just $2,000 a month into a taxable brokerage will hit approximately $6.1 million by age 65, assuming that same 7% return. The income gives you the capacity to do this, for sure, but your discipline is what actually determines if you achieve it. Section 5, Universal Financial Rules. Let's talk foundations. Before we wrap this all up, we need to establish the laws of financial gravity. These apply no matter which income bracket you fall into. First, automate everything. The data consistently shows people who automate their savings save 30 to 50% more than those who try to do it manually every month. Second, the order of operations matters way more than the raw amount you save. A 50K earner following the right steps will absolutely beat a 100K earner who is just investing randomly.
Third, and honestly, this is my absolute favorite, split every single raise 50-50. Half goes to improving your lifestyle and half goes right into increasing your savings rate. This guarantees you get to enjoy your success while completely sidestepping lifestyle creep. Fourth, the 3 to 6 month emergency fund is strictly non-negotiable at any level. And fifth, as we've clearly seen today, your need for tax optimization scales directly with your income.
Finally, Section 6, the wrap-up. Time to evolve your playbook. To wrap up today's explainer, I just want you to remember one vital concept. The absolute most dangerous thing you can do for your wealth is run last year's playbook at this year's income level. Hey, please don't forget to hit that like button, share this with a friend who really needs a playbook update, and subscribe so you don't miss our big Thursday explainer, where we dive into why 67% of Americans are genuinely more afraid of running out of money than they are of dying. So I'll leave you with this. Which income bracket are you in right now, and what is your absolute biggest financial challenge at that specific level? Let us know. Drop your answer in the comments below. And as always, stay smart with your money. See you next time.